This week we're going to be talking about outlining. Specifically, we are going to be talking about the outline that you will be turning in to me in advance of your speech day, as well as the outline that you will be using on your speech day. And it's important to note that these are two separate outlines. And we're also going to talk about why it's so important for us to outline our speech. So when it comes to the question of why it's so important to outline, first and foremost, outlining helps us to organize our information into logical patterns. Now, when we talk about the organization of your speech, this will make a little bit more sense. But for now, the outline just basically helps us to see whether or not the pattern that we have our information organized in makes sense, if it's easy to follow, and if our audience will be able to understand it. In addition, having an outline lays a really strong foundation for your speech because you can make a lot of really important decisions when it comes to your speech. And it also helps you to make sure that everything is connected, that each of your main points connects back to your specific purpose and things of that nature. So it helps you keep the bigger picture in mind when you create an outline. In addition, having an outline, as I was saying earlier, it helps your audience to understand your message. Because if you have a really clear outline and you're able to tell your audience that today we're going to be looking at A, B, and C, and then you're able to tell them that first we're going to talk about A, then we're going to talk about B before finally talking about C, it helps your audience to remember your message better. Because remember, when you are giving a speech to your audience, or rather when you're listening to a speech, you don't have the ability to go back and reread something if you don't understand it. So your audience won't be, if they don't understand it the first time around, it's important to have that outline structure so that if they do get lost, they can easily pick it back up with one of your transitions, for example. In addition, having this outline allows you to test the scope of your content and how relevant the information is to your overall specific purpose. Because really, each of your main points should directly explain something about your topic and about your specific purpose. So you want to make sure that each of your main points stays within the scope of the topic that you're talking about. And having this outline really helps you to test the scope of that content. It also allows you to test the logical relation between the different parts of your speech. So, for example, you will be able to make sure that A connects to B and that B connects to C and all of those sorts of things. So having this outline really just gives you a really solid place to start when it comes to getting the bigger picture of your speech. And finally, having an outline helps you to test the balance and proportion of the different areas of your speech. Because we don't want a situation where your first main point takes up like 5 minutes of your speech time and then your second and third main points only have about a minute's time. Because that is completely off balance for your audience. They're wondering why you're talking about this first thing so long and not the other two just as long. So having the outline helps you to make sure that each of your main points is approximately the same length because you'll be able to see them and see just how much space they're taking up on paper. So having this outline, it just really provides you with the skeleton of your speech, right? It provides you with the foundation of that speech so that you can clearly have an idea of what it is that you're going to be doing in this speech.